Hello, yours. Welcome to CodeForAny. Fruit markets, Flutter apps inside admin sites. We need to develop this here. The main category add, update, deletes list API. We need to calls here. First of all, need to making here the API calls. Now need to go inside here the screens, admin folders, and inside need to go my accounts and to select this here the screen name. So need to find out here the admin main categories list screens. You need to go here and you need to write down here the some events to do. You need to write down here to do and to write down here the API calling like here. So need to set here. Now need to today goes need to call this here the login API. You need to go inside here the mobile login screens and you need to copy this here the this API here like here, and we need to go against here the category screens and we need to paste this here and now need to give this here the API callings and to set here the list API like this sets import this here the globe files, import service calls, and we need to make sure so need to on this here is tokens API need to set here the true like this sets remove this here the response like here and remove this here the alerts no need maybe need to stay here like this put here for the alerts here like so need to setting here and to give this here the API names. First of all need to find out here the init states need to set here like here, and we need to call this here the service API calling list and to remove this here the parameters also no needs these parameters need to clean here for this API, and we need to pass this here the blank like here's need to set here's and we need to call here the this API calls. Now need to save for the screens and we need to write down here the list view and we need to set here the clean this area like here's and we need to comment this code like this sets here's and this is creates here's. Now we need to get this here the response. Now need to change this here the API name, so need to configure here's. First of all, now need to copy here's and we need to set here paste this here and we need to call this here the API names main category list and we need to set here the app replace with here the admin APIs. That's why I need to replace here admins and we need to set this here the admin main category list like here's for the API and another API we need to declare here. Now we need to set here the add category API. We need to put here's for like here's. Then after we need to set this here the update categories and delete categories. Now same as we need to copy and we need to paste this here. Now need to main category active and inactive like this. We need to set here. Need to change this here the add then update and add here's like here's. Then after delete and last one is active inactive active in like here's like this we need to set here the API names. Now first one need to call here the list API need to set here and we need to configure here. Now need to go inside here the main category and to change this here the API names. After we need to getting this here the success response, we need to put here the results. We need to order array is equal to need to write down here the response object and we need to set this here the payloads dot key dot payload as need to get this here the list and we need to check this here the list optionals like this blank we need to set here and to call this here the set states if mounted make sure you need to write down here the mounted. Then after set states, you need to call here. You need to configure and then you need to done here for this API for the listing. Need to calling here done. Now need to get this here the objects and need to configure this here the main category and we need to set this here the name objects, set this here the main category and two strings like this we need to set here and we need to save here. Now we need to show this here the name for this response, need to set here. And now we need to another API we need to calling here, so need to write down here the API calls this and we need to go inside here the main category add and we need to set this here the globes service call and we need to remove these here, remove the states and we need to if here the successfully get this context dot pop like this setting here. And now we need to go against the mobile login screens and we need to copy this here the actions and we need to go add screen and we need to paste this here. So now need to write down here the submit and I need to write down here the txt names and first of all I need to declare this here the text editing property text editing controllers txt name is equal to text editing controllers like the sets we need to set here the init. Now we need to keep here the edits then we need to write down here the map dots edit objects we need to pass here and we need to set here the optional this dot edit objects. Now need to set here if is widgets dot is edit is equal to true and widgets dots is edit object not equal to null like the sets here conditions need to write down here the txt name dot text is equal to need to set this here the value need to configure this here the widgets object edit objects set here the value and we need to paste this here the main category names for this edit and to string like this apply here like this we need to configure save here and this pop screens edit like here's now need to set here the click events set down here the controllers txt name and hint text like this sets call this here the clk submit actions like here. Now need to change this here the list api to need to write down here call add update and we need to pass here parameters maps string and we need to write down here the dynamic parameter and some parameters need to pass here for this API. Now need to write down here if edits. Now need to check here if here widgets dot edit objects then to call this here the SV key admin updates API. Like we need to call here for this API names. Need to configure here equal to not edit object is edit like this sets, and we need to pass this here's parameters again. We need to check here else part. Now we need to pass this here the parameters. So we need to configure this here's or here name txt name property dot text and paste this here's for this API. And also if edit, and we need to give this here the another parameters we need to put here main categories ID, and we need to write down here the edit objects dot value for to string exclamatory signs for put here, otherwise need to set here question marks and to give this here the double quotes blank value. This is the error free. Need to stopping here the crash related to fixed value. Need to set here. Need to fixing here. Now need to save this here for this API. Please enter here main category name category name and save here for this API. Pop these screens and need to now need to go here and make sure add need to since methods need to call here and wait, and we need to call this here the against API calling get list like here same as we need to copy for edit set here is edit set here true, and edit object is equal to need to pass this object and call here a since, and then after call this against update API need to save here. Like we need to configurations are the needs here and to configures for this data, and need to save this here. Now need to check here for this UI. Need to set this here. Now need to go inside here main categories and unauthorized access users need to getting like this here the errors. Need to check here what is errors. Need to test this here. Fix this issue. We need to against logins and to fix this issue because need to change this here the tokens. That's why I need to get like this here the errors on authorized access. Later we need to fix here the this flow issue because we need to redirect against the login screen if you get here the unauthorized access. Like this we need to set here the condition, but later we need to put here. Now we need to write down here the add screens before we need to write down here the no data. Like this we need to put here the UI. Now need to go against here the admin categories list, and we need to set this here the list view against if here array dot length is is empty, means we need to write down here the centers childs, and we need to set this here the text no data, and we need to set this here the style text styles, set here color t color placeholders, and we need to set this here the font size 22, like so need to configurations and also need to font weight, set here 700 for bold, like this configures and look like this here the showing here the no data found, like so need to set here, like we need to list API need to calls. Now again so need to click on ads and we need to give this here the one category. We need to add here vegetables. First category need to allow paste, create here, and please enter here the main category's name. Like this need to getting here the errors, need to fix this here this issue for related to these errors. Maybe need to is empty conditions, that's why updates here again, maybe not calls, paste here, and please enter your main categories is empty. Need to check here. Need to get here the text is blank. Need to fix here. First of all, need to check this here. Text fields controllers need to given here. Need to check here not set ads. That's why maybe like this get here the errors. Controller set like controllers. Now need to save, run here, and again so need to check here this text. Maybe need to close here one time. And now this is the added here the vegetables, like this category you need to get. Again one more category you need to put here for this app. Now need to go inside the list, set here the fruit, paste, allow, add here, and third one's category also need to add. Need to add here the type of or edits. Need to needs here. Now need to click on edits and to get this here, remove here, and again need to calls and update this list and need to like this calling here. Now we need to call this here the deletes API. We need to calling here. Now we need to create here the another common alerts need to develop here for this UI. Now need to copy these alerts and we need to paste this here and need to give this here the two button show alert two button, like here. We need to set here for this API and create here the button titles, cancel, and OK, like here, and on place OK, and another callback also need to write down here for cancel, like here. Need to set for two buttons. Now need to apply this here on place OK. Same as another actions need to put here, set here the cancel titles and cancel place. You need to calling like this here the two actions. So need to putting here this default actions need to set this here the false and 60 issue and like the sets here. Now this is the creating here. Now need to go inside here the list here, and we need to remove this here order row, and on deletes we need to write down here the add two buttons. Need to set here the titles globe app names. Now need to write down here the are you sure want to delete, and we need to write down here the on press event and on cancel semicolons. Like this, we need to write down here. If here okay, then we need to call this here the another API. Need to again so need to go inside ads, and we need to copy this here this API, and we need to paste this here and apply here for this API names admin deletes, and we need to pass this here the delete API like here's, and we need to remove here's, and we need to call this here the against get list API. Need to call here's if here the found, and need to show here the message like this. And how to call this API? Need to go here's API deletes, pass this here the parameters. Need to go against here the these two paste this here, and you need to get this set here the object to string semicolons, and to remove these here set here. Now this is the setting for the delete buttons. Now need to click on fruits, but need to delete here. Opening this here the fruit markets. Are you are you sure want to delete? Need to click on OK, and this is the deleted and main category deleted like this showing here the message. If you like this video, please give the thumbs up. If you're new user, so please subscribe my channels and press the notification bell icon. You can get every new video notifications and awesome content. If you have any question, so please write down the comment sections. I will help you and sort out your issue. Everyone have a nice day. Goodbye and take care. And tomorrow need to say this here the active inactive API need to call here if you, and then after need to create it here the subcategory add update deletes need to UI makings, and then after need to calling this here the API.